Brooks Koepka has been written off. His ranking has cratered, his game has gone cold, and many believe his best days are long gone. But with the US Open just weeks away, returning to the one course where he became a legend, Koepka has sent a message that the rest of golf cannot ignore. The major championship assassin believes he is about to do it again. Here's the full story. To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to understand exactly who Brooks Koepka is, because there has never been anyone in modern golf quite like him. For a stretch of his career, Brooks Koepka was the most terrifying big-game player on the planet. While other golfers crumbled under the pressure of major championships, Koepka thrived on it. He once famously said that the majors are actually the easiest tournaments to win, because half the field shoots themselves out of it before the pressure even arrives, and that mentally, he knew he could beat almost anyone. That was not arrogance. That was a statement of fact backed up by one of the most dominant major runs the sport has seen since Tiger Woods. Brooks Koepka has won 5 major championships, back-to-back US Opens in 2017 and 2018, making him the first player in 29 years to defend that title successfully, since Curtis Strange did it in the late 1980s. He won the PGA Championship in 2018 and 2019, and then, in one of the great comeback stories, he won the PGA Championship again in 2023. When the lights were brightest and the golf course was at its most brutal, Brooks Koepka was the man nobody wanted to see on the leaderboard. He turned major championships into his personal playground. For a 2-year stretch around 2018 and 2019, Koepka had an aura that genuinely rivaled prime Tiger Woods. He beat Tiger head-to-head to win the 2018 PGA Championship. He rose to world number 1. He carried himself with a cold, almost dismissive confidence, treating regular tour events as warm-ups and saving his best for the 4 weeks a year that truly mattered. But that 2023 PGA Championship victory may be the most important of all when judging what he is capable of now, because it came after his career had nearly been destroyed. A horrific knee injury, a dislocated kneecap, had left him barely able to walk, questioning whether he would ever compete at the top again. He fell off the map, written off as finished, and then he clawed his way back and won another major. If you want proof that Brooks Koepka can rise from the dead, you do not have to look very far. He has already done it once. And here is the detail that makes the 2026 US Open so significant for him. The detail that has the whole golf world paying attention. In 2026, the US Open returns to Shinnecock Hills in Southampton, New York, for the first time since 2018. And 2018 was the year Brooks Koepka won his second straight US Open, right there, at Shinnecock. On one of the most brutal, punishing setups in modern major history, where the winning score was just 1 over par, Koepka stared down the carnage, held his nerve, and beat Tommy Fleetwood by a single shot. That victory is woven into the very fabric of that golf course. Shinnecock is not just another venue for Brooks Koepka, it is the scene of one of the greatest triumphs of his life, and now the US Open is going back there at the exact moment he needs a lifeline. Quick pause. If you think Brooks Koepka has one more major run left in him, type "the assassin's back" in the comments. If you think his best days are gone for good, type "those days are over." I read every single one. Because the road to this moment has been anything but smooth, and that is what makes his confidence so striking. Back in 2022, Brooks Koepka left the PGA Tour for the riches of LIV Golf, signing a contract reportedly worth around $120 million. He spent several years there, winning the 2023 PGA Championship along the way to prove he still had it. But by the end of 2025, the landscape had shifted, and so had Koepka. In December of 2025, he announced he was leaving LIV Golf, citing a desire to spend more time with his family. And then, just weeks later, he did something that surprised the golf world. He applied to return to the PGA Tour. The tour granted his return through a newly created pathway, but it did not come free. Koepka had to accept significant financial penalties to come back. He acknowledged that openly, saying he understood there were financial consequences attached to the decision, and that he accepted them, because he believed in where the PGA Tour was headed with its new leadership and its equity program for players. He swallowed the cost, crossed back over the divide, and returned to the tour he had left behind. But the comeback has been humbling. This is the part the doubters point to. When Brooks Koepka returned to competitive PGA Tour golf at the start of 2026, the rust was obvious. He had not played meaningful competitive golf in months. His world ranking, devastated by years on LIV where no ranking points are awarded, had plummeted to somewhere around 255th in the world, a number that seems almost impossible for a 5-time major champion. In his first handful of starts back, the results were mixed at best, a single top 10, a few top 20s, and a couple of missed cuts. He himself admitted he simply needed to play his way back into form, that he was striking the ball well but needed competitive reps to sharpen up. For a player who once bullied the best in the world, being ranked outside the top 200 was a stunning fall. And that is exactly why his message ahead of the US Open matters so much. Because despite the rust, despite the ranking, despite everyone writing him off, Brooks Koepka is radiating the one thing that has always defined him: belief. The quintessential Koepka confidence, the swagger that made him a champion, is creeping back. And as the US Open approaches at the very course where he became a back-to-back champion, Koepka is sending the message that he is not here to make up the numbers. He believes he can win. Now, is that realistic? Let us look at the case honestly, because there is a real argument here, not just hype. First, the course. Shinnecock Hills is a savage, wind-blown pinnacle test of golf. It is the kind of setup where scores balloon, where patience and mental toughness matter more than raw firepower, where the field beats itself. That is precisely the environment in which Brooks Koepka has always thrived. He does not need to be the hottest player in the world to win a US Open. He needs the course to be hard enough that everyone else falls apart, and then he needs to do what he has always done: grind, stay calm, and let the chaos take down his rivals. Shinnecock provides exactly that kind of battlefield. Second, the history. Golf is a game of confidence and comfort, and there is no place on earth where Brooks Koepka is more comfortable than the course where he won a US Open. When he walks those fairways, he will not see a difficult test. He will see the ground where he became a legend. That psychological edge is real, and for a player whose entire game is built on mental strength, it could be the difference. And third, the mentality. This is a man who genuinely believes major championships are easier to win than regular events because of how the pressure breaks other players. That belief does not disappear because of a bad ranking. If anything, the chip on his shoulder is now bigger than ever. He has been doubted, written off, and humbled, and there is nothing more dangerous than a proud champion with something to prove. Brooks Koepka has spent his entire career proving people wrong in exactly these moments. Of course, the doubts are real too. He has been wildly inconsistent. He missed multiple cuts at majors in 2025. The rust from his LIV years and his time away has not fully worn off, and a US Open at Shinnecock will punish any weakness mercilessly. Sharpness, the kind that only comes from constant high-level competition, cannot be faked, and Koepka simply has not had enough of it recently. Betting against the field at a major is always the smart play, and Koepka is no longer the favorite he once was. But that is what makes this story so compelling. Brooks Koepka is not supposed to be a contender anymore. He is the forgotten champion, the player whose best days are assumed to be behind him. And he is walking into the one tournament, on the one course, where his legend was born, telling the world he is going to win again. It is the perfect setup for either a humbling disappointment or one of the great redemption stories in recent golf history. The huge announcement is not a press release or a contract. It is a declaration of intent from a man who has made an entire career out of delivering when no one believed he could. Brooks Koepka is telling everyone who has counted him out that they have made a mistake. He has been here before. He knows this course. He knows this pressure. And he believes, with the same icy confidence that won him 5 majors, that the assassin is about to strike one more time. And the stakes for him could not be higher. This is about far more than one tournament. Koepka swallowed financial penalties and crossed back over golf's great divide to return to the PGA Tour, a move that drew skepticism from people on both sides. He has been ranked outside the top 200 in the world, an almost unthinkable place for a player of his pedigree. A win, or even a serious contention, at Shinnecock would not just be another trophy. It would validate his entire decision to come home, silence the doubters who said he was finished, and remind the golf world that legends do not simply fade away. For a player as proud as Brooks Koepka, that motivation is rocket fuel. He is not playing for money anymore. He is playing for his legacy, and for the simple satisfaction of proving that the killer instinct never left. Whether he backs it up or not, one thing is certain. When the US Open begins at Shinnecock Hills, all eyes will be on Brooks Koepka, the man returning to the scene of his greatest triumph, daring the golf world to doubt him one more time. And if there is one player on the planet capable of silencing every critic on the biggest stage, history tells us it is him. If this got you fired up for the US Open, drop a like before you scroll away. It is the single biggest thing that tells the algorithm to push these stories to other golf fans who might never see them. And subscribe, because the US Open is going to be one of the most dramatic weeks of the year, and there is a lot more coming.